Hey Shannon, so here's your boat. Okay, now I could tell you why you couldn't get this machine running. The fuel line was fine. Okay, I actually did have it running, but it wasn't running properly, so I did a compression test. It's where I take this gauge and check the cylinders for the level of vacuum they're creating. And they were not creating enough to even pump the fuel into there, and I'll show you why. So you can see like it's iffy at 120. Anything under 90 is garbage. All right. Okay. Let's do a compression test here. PTO side. Okay, way below. So this thing is never going to run properly. Okay, now the stator side. Let's see what we say. This has no compression whatsoever. See? It's all in the red. It would never run properly. Okay. This motor number 2. Every time I do a pressure test on it, it seems to leak. It has its own little host of problems. So I built this cap. I've got a rubber, piece of inner tube there. This is where it's been leaking. It has a whole host. It has another issue, but I will explain that later. So how am I going to test this? Well, we're going to fill this guy up. And we're going to submerge the whole motor in there. So, come back in a second. Alright, I've pumped a little less than 6 pounds into here, and it is leaking. So now I use that car air, pump over there. See, it has dropped. Let's find out where. I'm going to submerge this into there. Okay, you can see it's coming out of the wire, and a little tiny bit's coming out of the starter. Okay. Oh, and it's coming out of here too. Right. Okay. Well, this is my fear with this motor. This is the second motor that I bought. This one has is not going to have the same high. I haven't tested it yet. It leaks through here. It's got a small leak here. And on the starter it leaks from here. And that's going into here. Now the problem is the seal inside that timing cover, it leaks because the crank on this motor was marred, because water and crap had got into here before. So the only way to make this, it's not just the lack of performance I'm worried about. I'm worried about water sitting inside the ski and then eventually making its way in here, which it already did. My other motor, it's nice and clean. No water ever got into it. This one's leaking right from here. So I'm going to pull this off and seal it up. And try to... And as mentioned before, I didn't have an O-ring seal for this. But I got some material here and I'm going to make one. The O-ring from this is sitting in here right now. And it is holding. It's leaking from here, and from here. So we're going to try to block all this off. And we'll put it back in the water and we'll test it. Okay, magneto side. Okay. PTO side. Okay, there's a 10-pound difference. But if you leave, that's while it's running, it backs off a little bit. So I will attempt to use this even though there's a 10-pound difference, because that cylinder was in pretty bad shape anyways. So that's where the compression sits now. PTO end, magneto end.